Great. So it looks like we have all our speakers here today. And, I'm sure a lot of people are piling up already. So let's get this started. Of course, I want to say hey to everybody who's listening in. Welcome everybody to our third Meet the Co-Builders AMA for the month of May. We've got a really exciting lineup of projects building on MYRIA that we want to talk to you guys about because they're doing some really cool stuff in the Web3 gaming space. By the way, I'm Tari from Community Events and Outreach at MYRIA. And if you're new to MYRIA, it's an end-to-end gaming ecosystem and Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution. So it's for players and builders to explore games and dApps, all while enjoying zero gas fee, carbon neutral transactions at speed. Things have been buzzing lately across 500,000 plus Myrians in our community, and we've recently reached a whopping 11 million verified wallets on the platform, where more than 270 studio partners are building their games. 3 of those partners are here with us today for a fun little chat to talk about what they've been up to. So let me go ahead and introduce our guest speakers for today. We've got Carmelo, who's the CEO of Apes Planet. It's a complete NFT play-to-earn fighting game with an integrated metaverse. Hello, Carmelo. How's it going?
Hi there. All good, all good. just working a bit, but I took some time, to come here and join you guys. It's a pleasure for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us. And, thanks so much for your time. Hope we make it worthwhile. And of course, we also have Valeria, who's the partnerships manager at Junkineering. It's a MOBA role-playing game with an awesome Web3 economy. Glad to have you here, Valeria.
Hi all. Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure to be on this space to share some thoughts about some important issues which we are facing currently. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm excited to talk about your game as well in just a bit. And of course, last but not least, we have Alexis, who's a product owner at Metalands. It's a hybrid shooter game based on progressive open world, crafting and real-time strategy. So Alexis, we're big pleasure to have you here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm so glad to talk about our games. And it's been a long time. We have been working on this game. And it's really nice to share what we have been working on with MYRIA and the entire ecosystem under MYRIA. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. When people are building stuff, especially since they've been working on it for months and end, it really excites us to talk about it. And, now that I have you guys here, I'm excited to talk about your games, which I'm sure a boatload of people already know about. But for our newcomers listening out there, could you perhaps give an overview of your project and what it's all about, what stage you are in game development? Maybe we can start with Carmelo, followed by Valeria, and then Alexis.
Yeah, sure. All right. Let me start with saying that, all right, we've been working on this project for almost 2 years now. So Apes Planet is a cross-chain play-to-earn game. It's a gaming platform, to be honest, because we are featuring 2 different games. One is the Apes Planet Champions. That is, first is our main game and is also a kind of Street Fighter style game. And the other one is the Olympus, that is basically like a metaverse area with different mini games inside, but it has also a touch of adventure game as well in it. So what we've been doing with these 2 games, when we started, so let me just explain quick. When we started the project 2 years ago, the idea was just to launch, the Apes Planet Champions, the fighting game. But while we were building and looking at the market, we realized that just that was not enough for us, because it's this kind of games are lacking of many things, like interaction, or also the reward system is quite low as for gamers. So that's why when we decide to implement the Olympus, that basically is bringing as I said, a metaverse area where people can interact. It will be easier, also to get rewards, because you can just go around and find treasure just by exploring anyway. You don't even need to join the mini games if you don't want. And also, we implemented a kind of, is a system, is a wagering system in the fighting game where you can bet banana points and that are baked with USDT. So once you win, you can redeem USDT or anyway, or still use it within the game as well. And recently, we also start working on implementing AI in the Olympus that basically will bring to the players, will help them to farm the NFT, the banana points within the game, and also upgrade their warriors. Regarding the development, we have the Olympus beta already out. The fighting game is on work right now, but we also have the staking and marketplace ready for the launch.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing. I've never known a hardcore 90s, 80s kid who didn't love Fighter, so thanks for sharing. And yeah, gotta get me some banana points one of these days. I understand you're also working with devs and such to kind of build the game and onboard it to our platform, yeah?
Yes, correct.
Awesome. And how about over there at Junkineering? What's cooking over there, Valeria?
So what about our project, our game? We are free-to-play mobile RPG game with NFT-oriented economy, where players can own robots by crafting them from lunatic parts created by professional artists, with the idea of global crypto culture running in the post-apocalyptic world. What is our goal? Actually, this is to create like a high quality gameplay for everyone with using our Web3 as a technology, not a manipulation tool. We want to give a chance to every player to try our game. This means that everyone can play, but only those who have NFTs could be part of the play to earn ecosystem. Just telling about what we offer. We offer limitless abilities for squad building to perform the highest effectiveness, PvP and PvE modes, craft system to build unique items, flexible visual customization for the robots, and of course NFT trading and leasing among the players. So actually, we provide an opportunity for anyone to join our gamified revolution without purchasing NFTs. That's why free-to-play ecosystem gives full access to all MVP game mechanics. But of course, in case people want to develop themselves in the game and to earn, so they need to invest. They need to mint NFTs, take part in the battles, win there, and this is quite interesting journey, which we believe will enjoy everyone. Currently, we are on the stage of the testnet, so our testnet will be live in 1 month, and we're working on the game, frankly speaking, for more than 2 years as well. So it's I can say that quite a long trip, and we hope that finally our project will be live next month.
Cool, awesome. It's definitely something to look forward to, you guys. It's testing and that really exciting phase, and post-apocalyptic game. I'm sure it's got a bit of that steampunk vibe in it, and I love that it's accessible to all, but still offers something for the competitive players out there. So yeah, thanks for sharing.
Absolutely, thank you.
Cool. So let's hop on over to Metalands. What's the project all about, and what stage of development are you at?
Okay, yeah. Hello. So, Metalands is a free-to-play PC shooter game which comprises of game elements from traditional battle royale and strategy game. So, we have been in development since early 2021, probably with around 2 years and some months into development. We are among the first shooter game that came into the Web3 space. Initially, when we started working on the shooter game, most of the FPS games you have in the industry now were not in existence. So when we came into the space, we noticed that there were mostly 2D card games being not really most of shooter game. And if you look at the industry, look at the Web2 space, you notice that first person and third person shooter game are the most wide played games in the industry. Talk about Fortnite, talk about Call of Duty, Battle of PUBG, and other stuff. What we are doing, we are trying to create a system or a game that comprises of elements from battle royale, like airdrop hunting, uh, crafting, base building, and other gameplay elements. So the player starts the game from their bunker where they get an empty bunker. They get to build this bunker from scratch, get items from gameplay, get gather blueprints from the environment. That's an open world environment where players can go in and get items which they can use to craft new weapons, craft skin, research new skills on the game. So the game comprises of PvE and PvP mode, and also it has the PvPvE mode. So it's the first game that enables player to contend with themselves and also contend with the environment. So while you're playing against other players, you're also playing against the environment, which like AI NPC characters. Player can go into the environment, get loot, uh, can also get loot for loot other players' items which they have gathered, and also use these items to build the bunker. So the system works in a way where players get an inventory where they can store their items. So if they are defeated in battle, they lose all the item. But since we are using NFTs as most of the in-game items, we decided to make it as only consumable items like resources gathered, items gathered will be able to be that will be able to be looted by other players. So weapons and other things that are NFTs will not be looted, but the players who might drop in skills or in ranking system. What we want to do with Metaland is not to create another FPS game that already been done in the Web 2 space. Like if you look at most of the games in the Web 3 space now, the FPS games, they are replicating what has been done in the Web 2 space. Is either a 5v5 or a battle royale. So Metaland is the only FPS game in the industry at the moment that has its own unique gameplay. And what I mean unique gameplay is not a gameplay that is in existence in the Web 2 space. In the entire Web 2 and Web 3 spaces, our gameplay is one of a kind. So players get to enter into the environment in an 8-10 player match where they can contend for loot boss. But like Battle Royale system, where once a player is killed, the player needs to restart another match. So I have heard most players complain that it's not really good because once you start the game, immediately you die in the battlefield, you get to start the game. There's no second chance. And I think the recent version from Call of Duty they made something similar, like what they call the Gulag. So what we are trying to do is something similar to the Gulag, but not really similar. We have what we call respawn points. So once you enter the game in the beginning, every player has a certain amount of respawn points, 1,500 respawn points. So once you are in the gameplay, once you're killed in the first match, you get to respawn again, and each respawn takes a particular point. So once you exhaust your respawn points, you will not be able to join the game. So it gives the player this strategy consciousness where they need to carefully plan their movement, carefully know how to minimize they're being killed so they don't get to use their use point, that respawn point. What we try to do in Metaland, we try to balance the game so respawn point cannot be bought. So you cannot buy respawn point because if being bought, it's going to make it a pay to win game. So we try to make sure that the only way you can get respawn point is when you engage on gameplay. So you can get respawn point by winning airdrop boss. You can get respawn point from uh, create around the environment. You can get respawn points from comics books, which you can craft on your forge. So there's several ways to get respawn point, but it all involves gameplay. So you cannot purchase it with token or in-game currency. It needs you need to engage on the gameplay before you can get respawn points. So our innovative approach to the FPS genre was what I mean innovative, we try to innovate the system is our respawn point, integration of base building into traditional FPS game where players get a certain base where we call a bunker. they can develop the bunker with in-game items like furnitures, artwork, and other stuff. And then we have officials where players can invite other players into the bunker. Well, let's say an NFT party, stuff like that. It's not really the cool part of it, but we try to make it an ecosystem where there are lots of stuff to do. So even though you're not a gamer, you can also come into the game and have other activities. So if you're an NFT artist, you can come into the game. You create NFT content, NFT art content where other players can win or purchase, which they can also use to decorate the bunker. And in the future, we'll be integrating other features where players will be able to monetize this experience on their bunker. But overall, Metaland has been developing a one of a kind FPS game, which no other FPS games are doing at the moment. All of them, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, are currently working on what has been done excessively in the Web2 space. And in our stage now, we are at the stage of releasing our PvP game. Over the course of these 2 years, we have released several versions. The first version we released was a demo version, which has a basic uh, shooting range system where players get to test their aims. Then we released a PvE version, I think last year, and then we'll be releasing a PvP version this quarter. So everyone will be able to get the game for free and play and enjoy FPS game. So what we're trying to do is, we are not creating a game where player just go all about the P2E mechanism. We're creating a game that is fun first, then the P2E is basically a bonus for you. But first of all, you enjoy the gameplay, and then you get bonus for the P2E features. Thank you.
Yeah, one of the first ones here. That's awesome, and you guys are striking a pretty great balance between battle royale and the high stakes of a survival game, which sounds way more realistic, by the way. So good on you guys. You know, I think it's pretty cool that you're all in different kinds of stages in the game launch process on MYRIA. And on a similar note, as you know, Web3 gaming is such an exciting dimension where people can explore and build digital worlds like never before. What are some of the things that drive you guys forward and inspire you to build? So let's go on ahead with the same order. We'll do Carmelo, then Valeria, and finally Alexis.
So yeah, what inspired us was obviously we are gamers, and yeah, as you were mentioning, the Street Fighter game was at least one of our favorites. So from there, we start the whole process, of building this project. Obviously, we came up with the Warriors Apes. I mean, the collection as well, because I mean, many people were thinking about bored apes, because everyone, when you have an ape, now it's always someone else trying to copy bored apes. But the idea was that because they look, there is a movie as well anyway about it, so we wanted to build something with real warriors that were looking at like apes. And yeah, from there we start the journey. Yeah, that's basically how we started.
Cool. Yeah, cool story. The ape thing, but just looking at the art, like I can already tell that it's something completely different. And I've been staring at your avatar this whole time. It's like, wow, that looks really good.
Yeah, basically, I mean, our artist is a good, I mean, is a well-known artist in his field, especially in Brazil. And we work in the concept for almost 3 months before getting the first ape out. So obviously, yeah, we did everything not to get, I mean, to get confused with bored apes anyway.
Yeah, well, you guys did a fantastic job, and the idea does really seem fully baked. How about over there at Junkineering? What inspired you guys to build?
To tell the truth, we are inspired as well by the thing that our team are like gamers. Our CEO who had this idea to create engineering, he also spent too much time, I don't know, even years probably playing. That is why Junkineering is quite the game that was designed for such long period of time. So we wanted to try it out to understand whether the quality is good to make the test live. So, and of course, the amount of quality game products they can be counted on the fingers of one hand. So we've created Junkineering to combine traditional gamers experience with NFT economy, and this is probably also this like shortage of high quality game in the world in our ecosystem. It was also one of the points why we decided to create engineering and why we invested so much time, so much efforts, money to create the design, the picture that would love lots of people. So, and once we are talking to other project about partnerships or fundraising.
Oh, I think we may have lost you a little bit, but really great points she was mentioning. I was about to comment on how much I appreciate.
This is probably our
yeah, how are you? There you go. Yeah, I think you got lost for a little bit.
Sorry.
It's all good. Yeah, I think you're coming in and out, but definitely that point, shine through that. Like, I really appreciate that you guys took your time to really nail it down, and it really comes across as a passion project that you took so long to conceptualize and build the game from the bottom up, and it's just nice to see in this space as well. And what about over there in Metalands? What are the things that inspire you guys to build?
All right, so there are a number of factors that inspired us in developmental launch. Aside from the fact that I really love shooter games, played PUBG, played Call of Duty, played lots of shooter games, and especially PUBG, I do get frustrated the way I'm being killed early on time, and I cannot respond. I need to start again. I wait for matching and other stuff. It was really frustrating. I was like, if there is a second chance where I can respond, it would have been better. But the major factor that led to Metaland development was back then in 2019, 2020, where we got the idea of Metalands. They were mostly card-based game in the industry. We talk about Splinter, I think Splinter Lands, Ghost on Chain, My Deafy Pet, and most of the game. Most of them were 2D card-based game. It was giving Web2 gamers the idea that the Web3 gaming industry cannot develop something with high quality, because if you go to Web2 based games, Web2 space, most of the high games are FPS or RPG games. We talk about Call of Duty, God of War, stuff like that. They were really RPG or FPS games. So we're like, what if we can create something like this, create an FPS gaming industry? I know in the early stage of Web3 games, most developers were not looking into the roadmap of FPS games, just the fact that it costs a lot of money and it costs a lot of time, it costs a lot of manpower, because you need to develop 3D assets, you need to develop script, you need to develop animations, weapons and everything. So it's really a lot. But when you go to 2D based games, it's basically just maybe get a few, two, three artists, two programmers, and you can easily get a TCG games. But with FPS game, it takes a lot. If you also look at the Web2 space, most of the games that takes lots of budget are these 3D games. Like I think there was a budget for Grand Theft Auto 6, which was around one to $2 billion. That's a lot. So we decided to create an FPS game, even though we know we knew the journey was not going to be easy, it's going to be rough, but we decided to enter into an FPS game to create Metaland, not just for ourselves, but also give the Web3 games, the Web3 community, a game where they can play as NFTs and where they can also upgrade their characters and weapons as NFT. I have lots of masked weapons on Call of Duty now, but these weapons are not NFTs. And once I quit playing this game, it's gone. No, there's nothing I can do with it. There's no money back for my investment I have spent in upgrading these items. And like I told you, people spend money in FPS and RPG games more than any other games, and there is no way they can get back the money back because these are not NFTs. So we decided to not just create one of the world's most popular video game genre in the blockchain, but also make it NFT enabled, where players can use NFT as the items, where they can also trade these items as NFT to get some value back for their investment, either in money or in time. Because the thing is that if you spend time playing the game as a free to play players, you can also upgrade these items. So you're also investing your time. So you don't actually need to invest money before you can call it an investment. Time also is an investment. So once you invest your time in a number of amount of time in the gameplay, you upgrade your character, and you want to create a game, I think there should be a system or a method where you can exchange this game as NFTs. That was the reason why we decided to create FPS game in the on the Web3 space.
It's pretty nifty, isn't it? That a lot of the builders in Web3 are avid, fanatical gamers from Web2, but also had their own kind of frustrations with the space. So they just went all Thanos mode and they do it themselves, kind of thing. And, I love learning about new and quirky disruptive ideas out there, especially those pertaining to gaming and blockchain. What fun and exciting ways can players interact with your game and participate as community members? So over to you, Carmelo.
Sorry. Hi. Sorry. So so can you just repeat the question? Sorry about it. I was checking something and I got lost.
No problem at all. What fun and exciting ways can players interact with your game and participate as community members?
So basically, they can build their teams within the game. As I say, they can also let's say bet within the game. There will be challenges and tournaments because, as I said, we have we have the fighting game, but we also have different mini games in the Olympus. Like we have a parkour game where let's say you will challenge with other apes in there, and who gets first to the other side of the parkour area will win rewards. There is already a racing area where they can challenge for rewards as well there, and we also are trying to organize some events because we have an how do you call it, the arena anyway, that we will host some hopefully music events soon, especially after we launch anyway.
Cool. Yeah, some pretty exciting stuff going on there, and I love that it's kind of reminiscent of those old arcades where you can just switch around and do a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, the Olympus will be, the idea of this area is that we will build different games. For right now, we have just 3 games, and plus we will host some, treasure hunts as well in there, because there is many hidden doors and all of the stuff that you will have to find, But yeah, the idea is to expand it with many games inside, also for, our partners that will come in. So they can build and and let them their communities play as well inside the Olympus.
Well, that sounds heaps of fun. Thanks for your input. How about over there in Junkineering? How are you engaging community members with your game?
So what about our project that We believe that Junkineering is a multiverse of possibilities. Every player will find his her destination, so you can become a top seller or on in-game marketplace after sending your robot on expeditions. During expeditions, especially equipped robots can find various materials and craft assets from them after. Also, Craft Station is a place where a player will craft incredible battle models. We desire to give a lot of space for cooperation between players. As the game progresses, one of the important social mechanics will be unlocked, the ability to join clans. Together, you can capture territories and compete against boss and other players. We believe that the most interesting part in Junkineering can is that players they can mint any robot or asset in NFT with Afterlife NFT generator. Such robots they are indestructible. NFT utilities provide access to NFT leagues, battles, and NFT awards. So minting items into NFTs unlocks another additional unique mechanics as NFT leasing, but the main thing is it gives ability to set your experience on marketplace and earn profit in stable coins from it. Concerning the community in the socials, we also have some like quizzes. We have contests. We try from time to time to interact our community as we've gathered them before our testnet as it's not launched yet. So from time to time we have different competitions. So our like community cannot be bored. And of course we are like telling them when we are going to launch our testnet. So the time flies.
Yeah. Yeah. Good over there. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's probably everything that I wanted to tell you on the stage. Yeah, thank you.
And thank you. Yeah, it really shows like, all of those years of planning are kind of showing and coming into fruition. Like you guys have really seemed to think this out, and it's nice to see that you're keeping your community warm as well. Let's hear from Alexis at Metalands. How are you guys engaging community members and helping them interact with your game?
Okay. Initially, when we said Metalands, we had these Web 3 games with Web 2 conscience. We're basically developing a Web 3 game that looks like a Web 2 game. But after some time, we realized that with blockchain, community is the most important aspect in the every blockchain project. So we have done lots of tweaking, and we have an ecosystem within Metalands which enables community to interact with the game. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a bunker system. With a bunker system, it enables community members to not just interact with the game, but also contribute to the game sources resources. Players, community members can create items like weapon skin, bunker templates, character outfits, in bunker items. They can create events within the bunker. We're creating a system where players can have something like an art show within the bunker. So the game has an ecosystem within an FPS genre where players who are not there to play the game or want to do other activities after long hours in playing the game mode can decide to do different thing in community perspective. They can use the artwork on their bunker, create items. We're going to have monthly monthly competition where we get to celebrate the best bunker design, the best artwork design, the best event hosted in the month, and other incentives. And within the gameplay, we have several game mode events which precede each other. So there are going to be several events that are going to be celebrated. Let's say, for example, we have lots of festivities all around the year. Each of these particular festivals or particular events are going to have a separate event within uh, ecosystem, either via bunker decoration, bunker items, character art, feed design, and other stuff. And the thing that these players that are going to create this item or community members that are going to create this item will also be able to uh, put this item for sale in terms of when it, get P2E features of these items is something exciting that community members are going to love, because the thing is that the whole P2E system where players get to earn token while playing the game is not really going to be sustainable in the long term, in the long run. So we decided to create a system where players can create their own economy within the game themselves. So we're not creating an economy for you. We're only giving you the infrastructure where you can create your own economy. You can create items. You can create in-game items, because we have a system where players can also create consumable items like grenade, edge kit, and other stuff. So player can go into the game, or community member can interact with the game solely as a contributor, contributing items in terms of NFTs as artwork, kits, consumable items, blueprints, and other stuff. So there are lots of fun stuff to do within our ecosystem. It's not just about going into the environment using gun to shoot other players or being killed, stuff like that. They have other interactive and exciting stuff that you can do within the game. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, that's one kind of commonality that I'm seeing with these three projects is that it's not just one. It's not just like a one-dimensional thing. You're really striving to keep the community engaged in different ways by including something that can make everybody happy. And yeah, it's really really cool to see you guys. And yeah, I think it's important to hold true to that vision of co-engineering the future in some capacity. And on the topic of co-building, what made you guys choose to partner with MYRIA? Back to you, Carmelo.
Yes. So obviously, by building on Ethereum, basically is the layer one. I believe is the biggest in the market right now. We were looking also for the solution, for gas fee and and scalability as well. So that's why once we found out about you guys, and obviously you are building also mostly for gamers. We decide to go ahead, and yeah, that's the main reason anyway. And also because, as I said, you guys have a big community of gamers as well, so that will help us as well to reach out to them.
Oh, well, thanks for that. Yeah, it's definitely a common thing, especially when MYRIA is being put in comparison with Gala Games or Immutable X, right, and other well-respectable scaling solutions. Is that we've been pretty focused on gaming from the get-go, and we'll be continuing to hyper-focus on gaming, as is kind of like our passion as a team. How about over there at Junkineering? Curious to know why you guys partnered with MYRIA.
Actually, for us, partnership they are very strategic. So why we were searching a lot with whom we'd like to partner, as we believe that marketing it has to be stage by stage. But we currently in the market lots of scammers. So for us, it's really important to build a community with real great people who can value our project. So, and that is why we found out that MYRIA is one of the biggest projects that supports some gaming projects as well. So for us, it was great to chat with you and to move forward in signing some like partnerships. So thanks a lot that we are like strategic partners, and hope that our relationships and so that we can build something great together.
Oh, well, the feeling is mutual, and we definitely are excited about the awesome things that you guys have up ahead. I mean, dealing with so many partners, we've seen a lot of people in different stages, and it's nice to see that some people are, in case, are very very young, and people or some projects are working on it for years and years.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And Alexis, any thoughts to share on the partnership with MYRIA?
I think everyone bidding on Maria has the same goal, the same reason why they choose Maria, aside for it being game focus of block L2 blockchain on the Ethereum network, is all also have the gasless transaction. One thing that actually puts Web2 gamers away from Web3 gaming is the NFT transaction, the gas fees, and the exorbitant fee on the Ethereum network. Players don't want to spend money, and if you look at the blocks, the Web2 space, player can actually purchase a character for like 50 cents, $1. But if you come to the blockchain space, the case is different. You see characters going for 50, 100, 1,000 USD. Uh, the only way we can onboard players Web2 gamers on the Web3 space is where they can perform when they use NFT without knowing that they're actually making use of NFTs. And with Mario system, gasless transaction is very, very, very easy to onboard players where they can have the benefit on the security of the Ethereum network without experiencing the downside of the Ethereum network when it comes to the gas fee. So I think that is one of the most important reasons why most games in the under MYRIA or any other L2 with gasless transaction are actually building on MYRIA. And the thing is that I love the fact that the team on MYRIA has been fully cooperative in terms of development and fully be really, really responsive to all our questions and everything regarding onboarding our games into the system. That is something that actually made me stay with Maria, not just use Maria, but also stayed with Maria.
Thanks, Alexis. Big shout out to Jason from BD for handling partner relations in regards to game onboarding. And yeah, I think a lot of people in the team still have shell shock from the time Ethereum gas was up to like $300. So we kind of use those war scenes to motivate us to make it better, make it free for everybody. So you guys kind of touched already on Ethereum layer 2, is a bit conscious of time. Let's skip over to question number 6. Do you guys find working in Web3 different from working in Web2? If any of you have transferred from Web2 to Web3, do tell us your experience and what you found different. Let's kick it off with Apes Planet again.
To be honest, I used to work on Web2, but differently, no building games before. But yeah, I mean, it's still quite different. There is more, security, basically. I mean, in blockchain, and also transparency, at least. So yeah, these 2 points mainly are, what I've been seeing, from the Web2 and the Web3. And also, I mean, is a growing market. I mean, obviously, I think and I expect that it will be the main one in a few years' time. So yeah.
Cool, awesome. And how about over there at Junkineering? Valeria, have you worked at Web 2, and do you find Web 3 kind of different, kind of the same?
I can tell that personally I haven't worked in Web 2 before. There was other direction. So I worked as a marketologist, but not in the gaming project. I believe what's the main difference is that in Web3, the community plays a key role, while in Web2, there are no communities. So the socials, they cannot be developed as, for example, in Web3. So this is like a key point where people, they need to focus in Web3, mainly community. And Web2, the key is just like project, of course, and statistics is also important, but that's mainly like mobile apps, and there people can just analyze.
Ooh, yeah, community and socialization. That's a pretty unique point from a marketing perspective. Thanks for. We haven't heard that answer yet, so great you brought it up. What about over there at a Metalands, Alexis? Have you worked at Web2 before?
Okay, so I've spent a lot of time in Web3 industry as a gamer and also in development side. And aside from the whole security about blockchain stuff, the whole NFTs, another thing I find unique with Web3 space is like what my friend in Junkineering said, the community. Community in Web3 space is different from community in Web3 space. With Web2 space, the team just develop the game, release it, and the player get to play and give their own comment and feedback. But in the Web3 space, the community follows development. They contribute ideas on what they think should be done or what should not be done. And also, they have lots of feedback they feel that should be integrated. Initially I was following Illuvium. I do like Illuvium. I've been following them for quite a long time. Before Metaland, I think. Yes, before Metaland. One thing I love about what they do in the early stage of the game, from shaders to textures to materials, every single stuff they use in developing the game is being shared with the community. This is not something you see in the Web2 space. And with stuff like that, the community feel they're part of the development process. They have been carried. So they can tell you that during 2020, where we're still developing, we had S amount of shaders. So they have a good understanding of the timeline of the game development. And that is not something you see in Web2 gaming space. So the community is really an important aspect or an important feature of Web3 space, which I love a lot. And also in Web3 space, the team not the community also help in promoting the project. And this is not something you also see in Web2 gaming space. Web2 gaming space, also you're creating budget for development, you're also creating budget for marketing uh strategy. But for Web3 space, you can even have a community shield your game for a long time. They can even get to meet lots of people you have been thinking of bringing into the game just via shielding. That is also an important aspect in Web3 game. I remember there was a time where we were trying to onboard one Web3 influencer. I can't remember the name. It was really difficult to approach it, but due to community shielding, we saw the influencer actually playing the game, and that is something you don't really get in Web2 space. Web2 space, the team get to manage everything from development and promotion activities. It's really great in the blockchain space.
Yeah, I agree. I love it too. The community aspect of things and how they can help to co-build certain aspects of the game. It kind of translates the spirit of decentralization, not just in transactions, but in how games are made, which is pretty awesome. And like while we're on this topic of the gaming space and the community, what do you think, in your opinion, are some of the key things that the Web3 gaming space will need to achieve in order to really move up that mass adoption needle? And how is your project working towards this vision? Let's head on over to Apes Planet once more.
Yes, in my opinion, we have to wait a bit more. We need more. Gaming hubs. I've been reaching out to them. There is many already, but obviously it's not. In my opinion, it's not enough. I mean, I know that there is like almost 80,000 players around. The Web3 space. But we need more communities. We need obviously we need to open this space to the Web2. I've seen some of this hub migrating from Web2 to Web3, but we're still too early on that. And obviously from our side we are trying to to promote the Web3 by sharing. I believe the the important is the ecosystem, in my opinion. I mean, if you have a good ecosystem that is sustainable, that will help, to reach out to the Web2 gamers as well, and maybe also some more Web3 events of gaming. I've seen some around, but not really many. I know that there is one of the biggest right now here in Europe that will be in I think will be hosted in Poland in October. That this is the first year that they will have, stands for the Web3. So this is where we have to point. I believe, bringing, the web to mass, from showing them what we are really doing anyway.
Yeah, I get what you mean about having an ecosystem that's sustainable, because typically when you're coming from Web 2 and jumping into something new, you'd want that assurance that it's something that would last and can be sustained.
Yes, really obviously. I mean that's what we have to show them, because I think, the Web3 space doesn't have a good reputation right now, by looking at the what's going on around. But obviously, that maybe, gaming will help, to bring some more trust in the space anyway.
Yeah, gaming is one of the more friendlier use cases for people to come in and check things out. How about over there at Junkineering? Any thoughts on the whole mass adoption buzzword, but also a really important question to ask for Web3 developers?
Thank you. I fully agree that we need to broaden the field of Web3, adding some Web2 users, because currently, if you like combine different aspects, you understand that the market has not such good conditions, and the number of players, it gets lower and lower and lower. And if we want to develop this market from Web 2 to Web 3, we need to transfer these people, to show them that it's reliable, that it's interesting, that the quality of the projects is quite high as well, and that they gain here, they not only lose. So, and of course, in my opinion, that in the future it will be like a high rate of selection. For example, as now we have too much projects, and I can say that 95% of these projects, they have low quality. In the future, something has to be done with it. So I believe that something needs to be done in this field, just to make Web3 fields with more high quality product, in order to attract more users.
Yeah, absolutely. And, given enough time and enough time for the market to kind of decide how things are going to go. And I think the strongest projects would definitely be the ones to swim upstream and into that more kind of curated Web3 world. And what about over there at Metalands, Alexis?
I think the Web3 space has lots of barriers in terms of entering. For example, most of the games are not free to play, and you need hundreds of USD to purchase NFTs before you can start playing these games. Although I am not really going to beat around that, because there are also some games in Web2 space where you also need to purchase these games before you can play. But you don't see the kind of prices in Web2 space in the Web3 space. But aside from that, the tech stack also is one issue in Web3 game. I've seen lots of games where you need to first of all open your wallet connect on your mobile device before you can scan a QR code to connect your wallet. So those systems are really tedious. You don't expect a Web2 gamer who can just sign in with email and password, or with Apple ID, Discord, or other social media to start playing games with your phone, to scan QR code, to log into the wallet and every other stuff. So these stuff are really not really good for the industry in terms of onboarding Web2 gamers. Is really, really not good, because the thing is, Web3 gamers at the moment, most of the Web3 gamers are only after P2E features, what the games that they're going to earn. And after playing this game, if it's no longer earning much money, they jump to the next game. But for Web2 gamers, these guys, they play games for fun, not to earn money, and that is the reason why they still feel that P2E feature is a scam. Because if you look at the video game industry, it falls under entertainment, not job, not real estate, not uh, 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 finance sector. It falls under entertainment. It's something that is supposed to entertain you first, not pay you to work to play. So if we have this mindset, if we are to change our mindset regarding the Web3 game, and also create some stacks that can easily onboard players. I know there are some companies that they are actually working on this. I discussed with Web3 us the other day. They have the system where you can use media to just log in, and it automatically creates a wallet for you. We have our partners at Atrua, which they have created a really brilliant system where you don't even need to connect your wallet. It has this system where you can create wallet within media login, like social, Discord, Apple ID, Android, all that stuff. You can easily create an account, and it will also create a wallet for you. You can do transaction within the game. So these are brilliant stuff, but we need more of them, and we need more games to start adopting such features. So it reduces the entry barrier for Web2 gamers coming into the Web3 space, because these guys don't even know what is MetaMask, what is Trust Wallet. So you telling them that they need to scan QR code before they can log in into the game to play is really something that we turn them off. So that's what we are doing here in Metaland. First of all, it's a free to play game. Like almost most FPS games are free to play. You start the game with some basic weapons. If you want to upgrade, then you can buy some packs to upgrade your item. But basically, the game is free. You can play the game for free, and even if you want to continue the game as a free to play player for the rest of your life, it's possible. You can do it. You don't need to spend a huge amount of money into this game. They have other ways where they can get the own revenue. And then the system where you can join this game is really, really easy. With an Apple ID, you can create an account instantly on Call of Duty PUBG. That is something we have also integrated into our game with simple Apple ID, Google Gmail, and other stuff. You can easily create an account on the game. And it's not just creating an account, it's also creating a Web3 wallet for you. So it gives you a wallet where you can also manage so any items you earn, NFTs, and also on your wallet. So if you want to check it on your MetaMask, say if you are the type that is really, really fast in Web3, it also gives you your private key where you can log into your MetaMask or whatever uh, extension you are using to check your NFTs on your platform. But the thing is, like I said the first time, that Web2 gamers are not going to fully adopt Web3 gamers until they're using NFC without knowing that they're using NFTs. That's what we need to do, because if you're playing the game, you log in an account with Apple ID, it gives you a wallet, and you're playing the game where you usually play your Web2 games. It gives you're not seeing this game as a Web3 game or a Web2 game. You're seeing it as a video game. So it is when you want to leave the game or you stop playing the game, that's where you start finding content about how to move your items into the NFTs, how to log in your address into MetaMask or whatever extension you're doing. So the thing is, I think we need to have a good tech stack on in a way we onboard Web2 gamers. Web3 gamers are already vast in crypto, already vast with MetaMask and everything, but we need a system to onboard Web2 gamers easily and seamlessly in a way where they don't need to go through a tedious process of logging into their accounts.
Yeah, it's really like, funny you mentioned. We're seeing a lot of games now that are creating a player onboarding experience where the player doesn't even know that it's a Web3 game until they dig deeper and explore the world more by themselves. So, yeah, definitely, great point there. And so we're moving on to the last question for the evening, you guys, and it's an exciting one because it's what's next for your project in 2023, and are there any milestones that you guys hope to achieve for this year? It's a bit of a goal-setting question. I'll pass it over to you, Carmelo.
Yes. So we are trying. I mean, we've been trying to do the race for a while. So right now we have been focusing mainly on building the other game first. That is, the fighting game, because we have a demo but not the beta yet, and we wanna achieve that first. Also, we are trying to, go with the NFT sales by end of June or July. Now we are still choosing which month will be better. And from there, we will also go with the mobile version, because right now we just have the Windows. We build with Unreal Engine, so we were focusing with the Windows first, and yes, and we will go with the mobile soon. And yes, as I said, hopefully by end of this year, we would like to, start the launch of our token anyway, because I mean, we have everything ready, so we are just waiting for that anyway.
Oh, I'm excited for that. That's some big news coming up ahead. And do you have any favorite collections or NFTs in that's out in the marketplace that you want to talk about?
Uh, Initially, I mean, we will do, just, I mean, we will go with the NFTs of our, avatars, because we can integrate them straight within the game. But obviously, as I said, we will have, the banana points that we want to sell as well, and then some of the weapons to start, playing within the game.
Cool. Yeah, and like from the art alone, I would buy an avatar to be honest. That's
I think we will have some of our collection on your platform as well soon. So yeah.
Yeah, you guys so do watch out for their collection to roll out in the MYRIA marketplace as well. Let's pass the mic around the campfire over to Valeria. Any exciting things you guys are looking forward to this year?
Yeah, sure. In a month, we're launching testnet. And of course, then in 3 months, if everything is okay, we're planning to launch the full version of the game with all NFT elements and, of course, NFT sale. We hope to attract more than 1,000 players, as we are attracting not only the players from Web3 but also from Web2. So we like this period is test period for us, so it's quite exciting. And that is why we hope to get feedback from the community, from the people who will try out our game, in order to move forward, in order to introduce battle mechanics and clans, of course.
Cool. There's something really kind of there's some real big hype about a game that took its time with development and conceptualization to finally be able to like show people what they've been working for like the longest time. So really exciting stuff for you guys over there.
Thanks a lot.
Cool. And Metalands, what's happening in 2023? Is there anything we ought to look out for?
Definitely. Oh, we have been working on this game for quite a long time, and this year is going to be really big for Metalands. For instance, Steam recently, I think last year, banned blockchain games on the platform, and Epic Games adopted blockchain games on the platform. But ever since then, there have been almost no blockchain games on Epic Games. Let's just say the games that are on Epic Game Store are those built with Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is like the owner of Epic Game Store. Recently, Metaland already signed a blockchain contract with Epic Games. So we are going to be like the first Unity game that uses blockchain on Epic Games Store. So we're looking at having this stuff set up. Let's say next month, players will be able to add the game on the wish list on Epic Games Store. And we also have some other launcher we are going to use to onboard more players into the game. So we want to have a Web 2 platform with Epic Game Store, and also Web3 platform with other launchpad like Elisa Launcher, Game Swift, and others. And also we will be releasing our PvP this quarter. Even though it's like an half early access game, it contains lots of features. Like players will be able to engage in PvP battle. They'll be able to earn items. They can also customize the bunker. They can also create items on the bunkers, NFTs, consumables, and other stuff. So even though it's an early access, it contains lots of features that most full game into the space does not currently have. In the long run, what we plan to do with Metaland is to create the first strategy games, or the first shooter game that comprises of RTS element, battle royale element, and 5v5 elements into a single gameplay, giving players the option to have different fun, whatever they want to do, whatever game mode they want to engage with, whatever things they want to do. If it's crafting, if it's developing, contributing to the game resources, the game library of items like inbox items, library, artwork, and graffitis, or whatever stuff they want to do. So at the end of this quarter, we should have the first early access PvP, which is probably going to be open to all, or maybe open to our NFT and token orders. Then by Q3, we should have it open to everyone. But we are looking at making it public to everyone by this quarter. But it all depends on how far we go in integration of all the stuff we want to do. Else, we're going to make it private to token holders and NFT holders. Then by Q3, we should have it ready for the public.
Wow, you guys are early birds in a lot of things, like here in the Web3 gaming space, and also kind of eyeing Epic Games as well. So that's super, super exciting. All right, so we've kind of went a bit over time. In case there are any questions from the audience, feel free to ask them now. Maybe we can accommodate one or two and then wrap up shortly. And while waiting for, so just simply request to be a speaker, and we'll bump you up and you can ask your question. But in the meantime, while waiting for people to formulate their questions, where can we find you guys in terms of socials? Same speaking order. Apes Planet first, and we'll pass it around.
So to share our socials, sorry.
Yeah, where's the best place to find you guys and maybe ask some questions about the project?
So basically, I mean, we have a group on, I mean, we are everywhere, Discord, Telegram, and Twitter. But the most updated is Twitter, to be honest, where we share more updates daily.
Yes, the information mecca, Twitter. So you heard it here first, you guys. If you have any questions about Apes Planet, you can course it through there. I think Junkineering has dropped off already. I think it could have been a connection issue. How about over there at Metalands? Where can people find you and ask questions and probe about the project?
Okay, we have Twitter, we have Discord, and we have Telegram. But probably by the end of this month, we will be focusing on Discord and Twitter. We have a system where we want to create a virtual marketplace on our Discord server where players can purchase consumable items with SP they gain from contributing into the Discord activities and engagement. But for now, you can get more information from our Twitter page and our Telegram page. But we do advise anyone joining the project to focus on Discord and Twitter, because we will soon be moving communication to Discord.
Ooh, okay. So more on the community and live question and answer through chat. kind of approach. That's cool. Yeah, so just I guess stepping in from Junkineering, I've seen them on Twitter. I do believe they have a Discord and a pretty nifty website as well. In case you guys have any questions their way. Since there are no live questions for today, we can wrap it up here. And of course, I want to thank our panelists and guest speakers for joining this AMA and shedding some insight on some pretty cool Web3 topics.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. I mean, it was nice, and hopefully we will do it again soon.
Thank you
Maybe from our side this time, we will invite you.
Absolutely, yeah. We'd love to come on your show as well. Just hit us up, give us a ping, and we'll brainstorm something out.
Perfect.
Alrighty, you guys. Yeah, you guys have a nice day too, and have a nice day also to everybody who's taken the time to listen to the space.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.